He Gave Me HIV. Part 1. Tonia was a beautiful, bright, and naive young girl with a heart full of dreams. At just 19, she gained admission to the University of Abuja to study law. She had always been brilliant, intelligent, focused, and driven. In secondary school, she won multiple academic awards and was known among her peers for her excellence. Coming from a humble background, Tonia's journey to the university was not without sacrifice. Her mother sold foodstuffs, egusi, rice, beans, gari, stockfish, and dry fish, just to support the home. Her father, a public secondary school teacher, also took on private tutoring to earn extra income. Tonia was their only child, and they poured their entire love and resources into ensuring she had the best education and upbringing. She grew up with strong morals and values instilled by her parents. Tonia wasn't just smart, she was deeply respectful, decent, and disciplined. At university, she remained focused, attending all her lectures, dedicating herself to her studies, and remaining active in church. She lived with like-minded roommates who shared her values. They studied, prayed, and lived like sisters. During a holiday, as she was preparing to return to school, she joked with her mother, "Mama, make sure you visit me in school, and don't forget to bring lots of food. You know how much I love to eat," she said, giggling as they packed her things. "I'm not coming. Oh, you're almost 20, a big girl now," her mother replied playfully. "You want to remain my baby forever?" They laughed, unaware of the storm that was about to come. Just a week after Tonia resumed for her second semester, tragedy struck. Her phone rang, her mother's voice trembled on the other end. "How did he die?" Tonia screamed in disbelief. Her father had died in a fatal accident on his way to school. The news shattered her. Her world, once so full of hope and structure, collapsed in an instant. Her father was not just her hero, he was her anchor, her motivation, her strength. Her mother was inconsolable. She had lost her husband, her partner, her rock. The grief was heavy, but even heavier was the uncertainty that followed. Who would support Tonia through school now? How would they feed? How would they survive? Tonia's future, once so bright and clear, suddenly became clouded with fear, pain, and looming decisions. How will this life-changing loss reshape Tonia's destiny? After her father's death, life took a sharp turn for the worse for Tonia and her mother. They struggled daily, barely making ends meet. At school, Tonia often went hungry. Sometimes she would go through the whole day with just water and a few crackers, pretending she wasn't hungry when her classmates asked. Whenever she called home to ask for money, her mother's voice, tired yet loving, would echo the same words. "You know I'm saving up for your 200 level, Tonia. Please just manage whatever you have. I'm trying my best." Though Tonia understood her mother's intentions, the constant lack of support left her feeling angry, helpless, and sometimes ashamed. Assignments, group projects, printing, everything cost money she didn't have. But she had no choice. There was no one else to turn to. Her friends and roommates became her lifeline. They shared their food, their money, and their hearts. Miriam, in particular, never hesitated to help. But not everyone was so understanding. "Is it every time we give her our food and money?" Kendra complained one afternoon, her voice sharp. "Can't she fend for herself? Is she not the only child her mother gave birth to? I can't continue like this. I'm not Tonia's mother." Miriam didn't hold back. "Kendra, why are you like this? Tonia is our friend, our roommate. She needs help, we give it. Today it's her, tomorrow it could be you. Have some compassion." The semester soon ended and exams rolled around. After writing them, students returned home for the holidays. But while others rested, Tonia worked. She joined her mother in cleaning homes, sometimes 5 in a single day. On weekends, she did laundry for multiple clients. Her hands ached, her feet throbbed, but she pushed through. She was determined to return to school. By the time resumption came, she had scraped together just enough to pay her fees. But that was all. No money for food, no allowance, nothing extra. So she made a tough decision. She would continue cleaning during weekends, juggling work and school. To make things more challenging, she returned to find her hostel had been reassigned. She no longer lived with Miriam and the others. Her new roommate, Kimberly, was older and in her third year, 2 years ahead of Tonia in age and one in school. Kimberly was polite but reserved. Tonia wasn't sure yet what kind of person she was or whether she'd be understanding of her weekend jobs. Would she judge her? Would she complain like Kendra? Tonia took a deep breath. Life was shifting again and she didn't know what lay ahead. But one thing remained steady, her faith. She trusted that God, who had brought her this far, would not leave her now. Can Tonia balance work, studies, and a new roommate? Will she finally catch a break? After Tonia moved into her new hostel, life became much harder. On weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, she cleaned people's houses, even those of fellow students who lived off campus, just to earn some money. Sundays were her only break and she used them to go to church. During the week, she juggled her classes with growing responsibilities. Things were tough but manageable, until her mother fell seriously ill. She was diagnosed with chronic kidney disease, a terminal condition that required her to take medication daily and attend weekly hospital appointments. Her mother had to stop working, and all the money Tonia had saved in school was quickly drained to cover hospital bills and buy medicine. Tonia had no choice but to double her hustle. She began washing clothes for people during the weekdays. Her studies suffered, she could barely focus. Eventually, she even had to stop going to church on Sundays and began cleaning houses that day too. She needed every naira she could get, to feed herself and her mother, to pay for hospital bills, and to keep up with the expensive medication. Still, the money was never enough. Tonia was exhausted, overwhelmed, and drowning in stress. She needed help, but none came. No one was there to save her. Except Kimberly. Her new roommate, Kimberly, noticed how much she struggled. Once in a while, usually once a month, Kimberly would give her some money. And each time, Tonia was overwhelmed with gratitude. Kimberly also never stopped encouraging her. "Don't worry, Tonia," Kimberly would say gently. "Your savior is coming soon. This will all be over one day, and your tears will be wiped away." Then one afternoon something unexpected happened. A tall, handsome man stepped out of a shiny black G-Wagon parked in front of their hostel. He was dressed in white, had a rich melanin complexion, soft medium build, and bright, intense eyes. Tonia had never seen a man like that before. He looked like someone out of a dream. She couldn't help but stare, a shy smile spreading across her face. "Hi, my name is James," he said warmly. "I'm here to see Kimberly, she's my sister." Tonia was frozen. She couldn't find her words. She nodded awkwardly and ran inside to call Kimberly, her heart racing. When Kimberly came out, she introduced them properly. And from that moment, something shifted. James and Tonia couldn't stop looking at each other. There was a spark, something unspoken, but real. He left that day, but something about his presence lingered. What does James' arrival mean for Tonia? Is it a blessing, or another twist in her story? After James left, Tonia found herself overwhelmed with emotions she had never felt before. His words lingered in her mind. "You look beautiful, Tonia," and every time she remembered, she would blush uncontrollably. She couldn't focus in class anymore. Her thoughts were consumed by him, and even though it was confusing, she felt strangely happy. But she kept these feelings to herself, especially from Kimberly. She wasn't sure how her friend would react. One day, while she and Kimberly were cleaning their room, Tonia hesitantly brought up a conversation. "Kimberly, is your brother married?" Tonia asked. "What? Do you want to marry him?" Kimberly teased. "No, I was just curious." "Never mind," Tonia replied quickly. "Relax, I was only joking," Kimberly laughed. "But to answer your question, no, he's not married. He's actually one of the wealthiest bachelors in Abuja. His name is James King." "Wow, he's that wealthy?" Anyway, a young man like that should take his time before getting married. No need to rush, Tonia said. Young man? Who told you that? He's not so young. Oh, he's 39. Turning 40 next month. Kimberly added. Tonia's eyes widened. Wow, he's 20 years older than me, she whispered, not realizing Kimberly had overheard her. The way you're asking all these questions, do you like my brother? Kimberly asked, smirking. I saw how you looked at him that day, the way you blushed when he called you beautiful. Don't worry, I can hook you two up if you like him. Age is just a number, you know. Tonia, feeling shy and overwhelmed, refused. She wasn't ready to admit her feelings, especially not to James himself. But just a few days later, Kimberly came to Tonia with news of her own. I've been talking to my brother, and he keeps asking about you, she said. I told you. I think he likes you too. He's been talking about you non-stop, Kimberly said excitedly. Are you sure you don't want me to set something up? Well, too late, I already gave him your number. Maybe you two can figure it out yourselves. Tonia was in shock. What did he see in me? She wondered. I'm just a struggling girl, not from his world. Surely he's seen girls better than me. The question haunted her for days. Then one day her small button phone rang. It was an unknown number. She answered, and instantly recognized the voice. It was James. Her heart skipped. Her stomach fluttered. She started sweating. She couldn't say a word at first. Hello, beautiful, James said warmly. That word again, beautiful. It sent shivers down her spine. They spoke for a long time. He flirted with her, made her laugh, and from then on he called every day, morning and night. James began sending her gifts, food, provisions, money. She often refused, but he insisted every time. Eventually he asked her out on a proper date. Tonia, nervous and excited, confided in Kimberly. Kimberly was thrilled and helped her prepare, lending her a beautiful red dinner gown and giving her heartfelt advice. The date was magical. A night boat cruise with fine dining and a violinist playing softly in the background. Tonia was amazed. She had never experienced anything so beautiful. It was quiet, romantic, and intimate. They danced slowly, lost in each other's presence. James wore his usual all-white outfit, while Tonia, in the red gown and long curly hair, looked stunning. She was shy, but she felt safe with him. He was gentle, caring, and attentive. How could she resist a man like that? After the date, James drove her back to her hostel. Before she stepped out of the car, he asked, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Tonia froze. How did I end up here? She thought. A poor, naive girl, being asked out by a Prince Charming like James? She told him she needed time to think. James smiled and said, "Take all the time in the world. But if Tonia says yes, how will this relationship affect her life, socially, emotionally, and academically?" After that magical night with James, Tonia returned to her hostel, her heart brimming with excitement. She told her roommate, Kimberly, every detail, how James had asked her to be his girlfriend. But Tonia had told him she needed time to think. Kimberly smiled and said, "What are you thinking about? My brother is a good man. I've never seen him treat any woman like this, except his ex-fiancée. But she cheated on him, and that was 10 years ago. You have every right to think about it, but don't wait too long. He won't be available forever." Over the following weeks, James became a consistent part of Tonia's life. He visited her at school regularly, took her to beautiful restaurants, and pampered her with gifts. He even visited her sick mother, paid her medical bills, transferred her to a better hospital, and stocked her home with food and medicine. James changed everything for Tonia: her wardrobe, her hair, her lifestyle. He gave her money monthly, enough that she quit her cleaning job. Life felt like a fairy tale. Too perfect. But Tonia chose to focus on the joy, not the doubts. 2 months into their friendship, Tonia finally agreed to be his girlfriend. James was overjoyed and surprised her the very next day with a brand new car. Kimberly celebrated with her and life felt like a dream. During a visit to her mother, her mom asked, "That friend of yours, James, how is he?" "He's fine, Mommy." "Why?" Her mother paused and said, "A man like that doing all these things for you with nothing in return. Something doesn't sit right with me." "Be careful, my child." Tonia laughed. "Mummy, you worry too much." "I'll be careful." James kept inviting her to his home, but Tonia always hesitated. One evening, Kimberly confronted her. "You've been dating my brother for months. Why won't you go to his house?" Tonia sighed. "It's not that I'm scared of him. I'm scared of myself. I've promised to stay a virgin until marriage. But your brother, he's so tempting. His voice, his smell. I lose control when he's close. My body betrays me anytime I am with him." Kimberly smirked. "Well, he's planning to marry you. It was meant to be a surprise, but now you know." Eventually, Tonia gave in and agreed to spend the weekend at James's house. When she arrived, she was stunned. He lived in a mansion, grand, luxurious, almost unreal. He cooked for her, they watched movies, laughed, and for the first time she slept in his arms. By morning, Tonia's promise to herself had been broken. Guilt battled with pleasure. But James was kind and affectionate. The weekend flew by in bliss, and soon, spending time with James became her new normal. She began skipping classes, traveling with him spontaneously, and distancing herself from her old friends and even her mother. Then one day she fell sick. Vomiting, fever, weakness. She went to the hospital and got shocking news: she was pregnant. When she told James, he dismissed it coldly. "I don't want us having a child out of wedlock." Abort it. That became the pattern. Pregnancies, abortions, some without James's knowledge. The 5th abortion left her drained. Then more sickness came. She returned to the hospital, and this time the news changed her life forever. Tonia tested positive for HIV. Shocked, numb, and disbelieving, she visited 3 more hospitals. The result was the same. She treated her malaria but told no one, neither James nor Kimberly. She waited 3 more months to retest. The result didn't change. Her world collapsed. She checked into a hotel for 3 days, wept uncontrollably, and ignored every call. On the 3rd day, she gathered strength and went to confront James, to tell him he needed to get tested too. But nothing prepared her for what she saw. James and Kimberly, in bed together. Tonia froze. Her heart shattered. "Kimberly, didn't you tell her?" James said coldly. "I told her you were my brother." "I guess that's why she's so heartbroken," Kimberly replied casually. "You're not his sister?" Tonia asked, her voice trembling. "No," Kimberly said. "I was once like you. I met James when I was in 100 level. I was broke and a friend introduced us. He gave me everything just like you. But when you turn 25, he lets you go. He likes them young. He'll empower you though." Tonia's hands shook. Do you know he has HIV?" Kimberly looked at her. "Yes, so do I. But you can live with it. You just need to take your drugs." James stood emotionless. "I found out I had HIV from my ex-fiancée. I stayed with her. Tried to make it work. She still cheated. Since then, I decided to share the pain, spread the disease to women like her. Beautiful, naive women." Tonia's knees buckled. She left that house broken, but not defeated. In the weeks that followed, Tonia cut off all contact with James and Kimberly. She reconnected with her mother, knelt before her and cried bitterly in her arms. "I'm sorry, Mama. You were right." Her mother held her close and whispered, "You are not your mistakes. You are still my child. And God is not done with you." Tonia sought therapy. She joined an HIV support group. She began taking her medication faithfully. She went back to school and caught up with her classes. She reached out to Kendra and Miriam and apologized. Slowly she began to rebuild her life. She also started a blog and later a foundation to educate young women about self-worth, health, and the hidden dangers of transactional love. Her story went viral. She was invited to speak at schools, churches, and conferences. 5 years later, Tonia became a certified health advocate, working with NGOs to provide education and treatment to young girls in underserved communities. Her relationship with her mother grew stronger than ever. As for James and Kimberly, their secret came out. More victims spoke up. A police investigation opened, and though James tried to disappear, he was eventually arrested for knowingly transmitting HIV. Kimberly was disgraced and retreated into hiding. Tonia did not let HIV define her. Her healing did. Her strength did. Her courage did. She became a light in the dark for others. She no longer saw herself as a victim. She saw herself as a survivor, a warrior, a woman reborn.